to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach of Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is a Friday here in Eugene in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'll take you the whole way through today's show. Ryan Milano, your host for today, and we've got so much to talk about. It is a jam-packed week in Oregon athletics. I have loved hosting the show this week because there is just so much that is either going on or about to start going on around Oregon athletics. For really the first time this season, we were able to talk with the softball athletes and the Oregon track and field athletes. Softball preparing for their season in less than a week. Oregon track and field just got done with their first meet of indoor last weekend. We have interviews from both coming up on today's show. Also, Oregon men's basketball got the win over USC last night, 78-69, and there's so much more. Women's basketball coming up on Sunday. Women's tennis in action right now at the Student Tennis Center against Eastern Washington. Men's tennis will follow them up against Northwestern today at the Student Tennis Center at 4 o'clock, and then they'll play again on Sunday at 11 a.m. versus Wisconsin. Men's basketball, they just got their win last night. They're playing again tomorrow against UCLA on ESPN2. Women's golf, they're starting their season on Sunday down in Los Angeles. And women's tennis, they're going on right now, but they will still be going on later in the week as they play Sunday at 11 a.m. against St. Mary's. There is so much going on around the athletic department right now, and it's a good time to be a Duck fan because spring sports tickets are on sale now. If you want your information, go to the GoDucks.com website, and there will be a splash page with all of the info that you can get for all of the deals surrounding Oregon athletics in the spring season. Deals for baseball, softball, track and field, acrobatics and tumbling, lacrosse. I saw there was 50% off for the home openers for all the spring sports. If you go in and get it now, there's a BOGO deal going on. So that is running until Monday, February 5th. So this whole weekend, you can go in, get your tickets, see your Ducks at home in Eugene whenever they play in Eugene for the first time, because all of these seasons are starting up right as we speak. A season that's been going on for a little while. Oregon men's basketball. Yeah, last night on ESPN, the Ducks faced off against the Trojans of USC down in Los Angeles, and it was an Oregon victory, 78-69. The Ducks pulled out the W wearing their all blacks down in LA. How did Oregon get it done? It was a little bit of a short-handed Ducks team to start off the matchup against USC last night. No Nate Biddle in the ballgame due to an illness. Hopefully we get to see the big guy back after he made his return to the floor last week. Hopefully we get to see him continue to return to health and continue to perform throughout. Once again, no Keyshawn Bartholomew, continuing to keep him in our thoughts, as well as Mookie Cook, as they suffered injuries recently over the last few weeks. But on the basketball court, it was a strong start from the Ducks, who were in action. Kerry Oquendo got the start in place of Nate Biddle in this ballgame. It was the first start of the year for Oquendo, but it was the freshman who really told the story, and Jackson Shellstad has had a whole bunch of success against USC to start off his career. 42 combined points in the two ball games for Jackson Shellstad against USC. He started out this game 6 of 6 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3. He had 15 points before you even knew it. I had just sat down on the couch ready to watch the game. I looked down, I looked up, and Well, Jackson Shellstad, if he had a bit of a quiet game in the last few, it certainly wasn't a quiet start against USC. A very strong start from the freshman, and really a strong start from everyone. It was a high-octane matchup to start off the game. Both offenses on a roll. In fact, 8 minutes into the ball game, the score was 29-22. And I'm no math major, but I did the math, and well, I solved for X. I have my notes actually on the table in front of me. The score 29-22 at the 8-minute mark the 12-minute mark in the first half, 8 minutes into the game. The pace was 145-110 as the final. The Ducks were leading, so it would have been a Duck win if that score would have held, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen a 145-110 total. And for Dana Altman, who's been emphasizing the defense, it was an offensive onslaught to start for both Oregon and USC. The Ducks were 11 of 18 from the field. USC was 8 of 11 to start off the ball game. Both of those percentages for either team would drop significantly. The final score of the game was 78-69. Things were really close, actually, for the entirety of the first half. Tied at 37 with 4 minutes left to go before the break, but then it was Oregon. They went on a 9-0 run and really paced themselves in front of USC, took a 7-point advantage into halftime, and the Ducks would pick up at the beginning of the second half right where they left off at the end of the first, where it seemed like Oregon's offense was really holding serve for the Ducks. The Oregon offense, complemented by the Oregon defense, went on a run to start out the second half. In fact, it was a 16-7 run that was accented by 4 3-pointers. A Kerry Oquendo 3, Jadrian Tracy 3, Jackson Shellstad, and Brennan Rigsby all knocking it down from deep, as well as a Super Carrio slam. We're going to utilize the Super Carrio moniker, I feel like, as we should. After Carrio was on the show for Tip-Off Tuesday, on Tuesday, he had a chain on that had a Mario emblem with a K instead of an M for Super Carrio. Yeah, if you didn't see that, we ran it on the show yesterday on Duck Insider. It was also on Tip-Off Tuesday. Make sure to go check out that interview with Oquendo, and he played really well in his first start of the season. A great time to have him on. Oregon controlled the second half and ballooned the lead to as much as 18 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Pretty much put the game into the deep freeze. It got a little bit closer late as USC went on a run, but I wasn't really nervous going down the stretch of that game. I hope the Duck fans weren't either. It seemed like Oregon had it in hand pretty late. Got a little bit tight, but still a comfortable Oregon win, 78-69 in the final. The stats in this game, it was almost a tale of two halves. Ducks dominated both halves at the free throw line. 18 of 21 from the charity stripe. Oregon getting a lot of opportunities at the line and making a lot at the line. USC, just 6 total free throws. They made them all. The Ducks also out-rebounded USC in the first half by 7. But as you'll hear from Coach Altman, in the second half, Oregon didn't do a good enough job on the glass. Got out-rebounded by 7. In fact, Oregon out-rebounded SC 21-14 in the first half, and it was the exact inverse in the second. Oregon with 14 rebounds and 21 for the Trojans. And the offensive rebounding is really going to be where the discrepancies lie. Oregon in the first half, 9 offensive rebounds compared to 2 for just USC. In the second half, USC with 10 offensive rebounds compared to 8 for the Ducks. And Dana Altman, he'll talk about the second chance points, where USC, they didn't do a good job in getting the second half points in the first half. Oregon, 13 points on second chances compared to just 2 for the Trojans, but in the second half it was 13 for USC and just 6 for the Ducks. Oregon had 5 individuals in double figures, led by the freshman Jackson Shellstad. He had 20 points, 7 of 13 from the field. Cooled off just a little bit after that torrid start, but it's hard to keep up a torrential pace like he started out the ball game with. And Jackson Shellstad, not only 7 of 13 from the field, but also 4 of 6 from deep, 6 assists in 35 minutes played. Without Keyshawn Bartholomew, Dana Altman talked about the ball handling emphasis that Shellstad's going to have. He played for 35 minutes. Kerry Oquendo, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in his first start of the year. And then N'Faly Dante, Jermaine Couisnard, and Jadrian Tracy all had 11 points apiece. Those were the 5 Ducks in double figures in the ball game. Joey was down in Los Angeles. He was on the call, and Dana Altman joined him post-game for his thoughts on the Duck win down in L.A. as Oregon now 2-0 on the season against USC through Pac-12 play. Here's Joey talking with Coach Altman.
Got up by as many as 18. I know you like to maybe close it out a little better, but got to be happy with a win on the road here.
No, we played really hard. We did some really good things. We didn't rebound the second half. They had 14 second chance points. And then late there, we got some offensive rebounds and, time and score. Our guys just felt like they had to shoot it. We took some really bad shots there. And, our guys, we get up and they just try stuff. We got to be more disciplined than that.
Second half, early on, defense really improved for you. What'd you see there?
Well, I thought our activity was really good. Like I said, if we would have held them to one shot, we'd have been a great shot. But they got some offensive rebound putbacks that really hurt us. Jackson
Shellstad, 20 points against him again. He was good tonight.
He started the game really good, did a lot of good things. He played really good, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, did a lot of good things.
5 players in double figures. What'd you see offensively?
Well, I thought our balance was pretty good. Jermaine's going to shoot a little better. Rigsby will shoot it better. So, we didn't shoot it great. We just found a way to win.
Free throws. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, no, we shot free throws really well. Got to line, really drove the ball at the basket, threw it inside some. So, yeah.
Any other takeaways before heading to UCLA?
Well, we just got to get tougher. We got a tough one there, and we're going to have to rebound the ball better. We're way up. We're up 7 at half on the boards. It ended up even. Didn't rebound, and so again, we're just going to have to do a better job and be more consistent. And defensively, really going to have to guard. It's going to be a rock fight. They're a very physical team. We're going to have to be a lot more physical than what we were tonight.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Oregon putting USC in the rearview mirror as they get the 78-69 win. Now looking forward to UCLA tomorrow on Saturday at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Joey will have the pregame show starting at 6:30. The Ducks keep pace atop the Pac-12 standings with Arizona. The Ducks at 7-3 in conference, along with the Wildcats, both at 7-3 apiece to the top of the Pac-12. And then the next opponent coming up for Oregon, UCLA, 5-5 in conference after they got their win last night over Oregon State. That is what is in front of the Ducks over the weekend. After the win for Oregon, the Ducks jump a few spots in the net rankings, up from 55 to 52nd in the net rankings as Oregon continues to go through this road weekend and hopefully picking up some more standings in those net rankings and a few more slots there. Switching gears from men's basketball over to women's basketball. Just one game for the women. Normally today would be a game day for Oregon women's basketball, but with the schedule this week having just Oregon State on the docket, it is going to be a Sunday matchup at 4 o'clock at Matthew Knott Arena against the 18th ranked Beavers. These two teams have played before up in Corvallis, and it was a defensive slugfest. In fact, Oregon held Oregon State to just 15 first-half points. Oregon State found life on offense in the second half and were able to pull away late in the ball game. But these are going to be two teams that are very strong defensively. In fact, Oregon State, they have one of the highest offensive field goal percentages in the conference and one of the lowest field goal percentages allowed in the conference. So they do a pretty good job at holding teams to one possession because they have Reagan Beers, who, along with Filipina Che, is one of the best in the country in terms of generating double-doubles. That'll be a matchup inside that I'm looking for in the matchup. But also because Oregon State, they have those bigs. They're able to score at an efficient clip inside and really limit opponents and alter shots on the opposite end. So it will be a defensive game at Matthew Knott Arena on Sunday, or at least it looks like it's going to be. But it's going to be an in-state rivalry against two Pac-12 teams that are continuing to battle and continue to play strong on the defensive side of things. All right, we got to take a timeout, and when we come back, it was record-breaking on record-breaking the weekend for Maddie Elmore and Jada Ross of Oregon Track and Field in Arkansas. Yeah, a whole bunch of new records to talk about after we come back on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays? The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We just talked men's basketball after their win down in Los Angeles over the Trojans last night as they prepare for their matchup against the Bruins of UCLA coming up tomorrow night. But last weekend, it was the indoor opener for Oregon track and field. And, well, both Maddie Elmore and Jada Ross put together record-breaking performances on the track and on the field, with the throws for Ross and on the track with the running for Elmore. Elmore was part of the distance medley relay team for Oregon that set a new school record and set an NCAA number 2 all-time mark. And despite the incredible time, there was somehow some small disappointment in the effort. Yeah, it was a tremendous performance for the Oregon distance medley relay team, but there's some improvement, at least according to Maddie Elmore, on the performance for Oregon track and field. Here is the distance runner, Maddie Elmore.
Just speak to the fitness you feel like you brought over from the fall and kind of getting off to a good start to the indoor season.
Yeah, I was really happy with my fitness over the fall, and I've been able to build my mileage up a lot. And then running the 3K in Boston, I felt really good about that. So yeah, I was very happy with where I was at coming into the indoor season.
Was the goal in Fayetteville to get the record? I mean, I know you guys, number 2 all time is pretty good.
Yeah.
So was that the goal, and will that continue to be the goal?
Yeah, I think our goal definitely was to get the collegiate record. So yeah, if you watched us race afterwards, we were kind of disappointed, and then we were like, wait, school record. So we had to smile a little bit, but I think overall, it was a little disappointing to be so close. But yeah, I think that record's definitely going to go down, whether it's us or another team soon. So then at nationals, that will definitely be the goal.
What's it like to be able to set a goal like that?
Yeah, it's very surreal because it's to be disappointed with the school record seems kind of ridiculous, but I think it just speaks to the level that our team's at right now. It's Shalane was pretty disappointed because she knows how good we can be. But yeah, it's crazy to be disappointed with that. So yeah, I think taking that into account is huge.
So what is the ceiling with this group potentially, if this is the same group we're going to see at NCAAs?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, we know that we can run a lot faster. There were definitely, I think on my end, my leg was probably the most disappointing leg, to be completely honest. So I think just figuring out more experience with that and running faster for me on the end.
Is it perhaps because you ran a 3K already beforehand, or?
I was actually fresh for that, okay. But I think running alone, that was my first real DMR. I thought that I would be able to hear splits, but I couldn't hear any. Shalane was I was yelling at you, and I was I could not hear you. So I had no idea how fast I was going. So I think just like having that experience will help a lot.
And a lot of this is based on strength right now because I'm sure speed has not kicked in yet.
Yeah, we're definitely like tapping into both kind of, but I definitely feel like after cross country, it's harder to get that speed. So yeah.
So what's your focus individually kind of these next few weeks before you get to postseason?
Yeah, I'm running the mile in Boston next week. So I think dropping my mile time is pretty big. And then I'll probably run the 3K at Nationals. So then focusing on that will definitely be the goal.
How would you describe how this season has really gone? You start off the year breaking the school record in the 3K and then a month later, DMR school record as well.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about. Like, I think like a few weeks ago I was talking to Shalane, I was like disappointed with a few things, and then she's like, if we can get 2 school records and then run a fast mile, like we're doing pretty good. So yeah, it's definitely surreal, but I think Nationals is the big goal. Like none of these records really matter if you can't show up on that day for the team. So
I know the UW invite mile was a little crazy because there was kind of chaos that happened during that race. So what are you hoping with Boston? Just obviously nothing like that again. But what's the goal in Boston?
Yeah, the goal in Boston is just to go out there and run. Like I usually run better if it's fast from the beginning. So just having a good pacer and then running with Claudia. And we're definitely trying to, I think that our school record will go down on Friday for sure.
As a group, how much are you feeding off each other right now?
A lot. Yeah, I think we have like a really good group of middle distance girls. We just got Shalon. She's new. So yeah, that's helped a ton. And I think just like every day, like in workouts, one of us will have a good day, and that just helps bring everyone along.
I know you don't want to speak for the head coach, but just like with everyone, with Jada doing what she's doing, a lot of other different, whether it be hurdles or something, like it feels like vibes are really well on the indoor side. Is that, something that was talked about at the beginning of the season with national championship aspirations?
Yeah, I think we all like know how good each event group is, and then so to see that come together like in the rankings, then it's like, okay, we're up there. So yeah, really just focusing on bringing that in the next month so that we can perform on nationals.
You kind of said it just was ridiculous how, you got a school record, but you're pushing for that other one. It's kind of crazy to think about, but just how high are the expectations?
Yeah, I think it just speaks to how high the expectations are at Oregon. Like, I think, our school has had the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th best DMR times. So yeah, we're trying to get that number 1 time. But yeah, I think that just speaks to like how good of a group we have right now.
Talk about the broad-based excellence of women's track and field going on right now and across the entire program, but also for Maddie Elmore specifically. Already the 3K school record, already the DMR school record, and you heard her talk about it. She thinks that the mile school record is going to drop on Friday in Boston. So there could be 3 school records if things go to plan for Maddie Elmore. Jada Ross is someone who has also had a pretty strong start to the season in the shot put as well. The NCAA leader, actually, in the shot put. Jada Ross, after her mark over the weekend in Arkansas at the Razorback Invitational. She also met with the media yesterday. Here's Jada Ross.
PR.
Yeah.
You go finally to eclipse 60 feet. How special was that?
Yeah, I think it was really good. I was happy with the 1840 that I had on my 3rd throw, and I worked on a technical aspect, got more, worked on another technical aspect, got more, and it was just all smiles the whole time. I was very happy. My first couple of throws were a little rough around the edges, and I think my coach was shaking just a little bit, but we figured it out, and it ended up being a really good meet for both of us. So, yeah, it was really good. I was really happy. I had a lot of people come up to me and congratulate me. I had to, calm down a little bit, so I was really excited. So it was really fun.
Is it satisfying to be able to work through some things kind of within a series like that and see it pay off?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's kind of what we've been doing in our practices a lot is you see a struggle, and then we focus in on it and then try to hone it in with drilling instead of throws. So during the meet, you saw me in the back just drilling in between my throws instead of just hoping that I do it on my next throw. I was figuring it out within drills and then getting in the ring and hopefully executing that drill.
So what technical aspect really went into that throw to have that PR?
The big one I've been working on is my left arm. So my left arm tries to shrink in a little bit. I'm trying to work on just keeping it long. One of the things I have as a thrower is I'm one of the shorter throwers, so I have to maximize my length. So I have to just be as long as I can to kind of keep up with the tall girls. So that's something I've been working on a lot. Yeah.
When you look back to it, was 20 your first indoor the COVID shortened year? Was that your first indoor season?
Yes.
When you look back at that, I know obviously it was shortened, but
right.
With where you are now, when you look back at the athlete you were, what's the biggest change you think you've made in your time here?
Wow, that's a great question. It's crazy to think about. That's where I had my first ever meet as a Duck, was at that same place. So the biggest change that I think I've seen is just my fitness level. I've really worked on my lifting and my fitness, and I feel this is the strongest I've been, and I just feel very comfortable in my body, very confident, and so I can show up to a meet and feel good and just compete just the way I know I can. So I think that's the happiest change I've had is just I feel good in my body now. Yeah.
You know, Maddie touched upon the team aspect a little bit, but I mean, you got the 5th best throw in the world right now, and there's a certain U.S. indoor championships coming up. Is that something you're going to think about trying to go to, and maybe try to qualify for Glasgow?
I think it's in the mix, but my focus is just on indoor nationals. That's what I really want, and I think, like what Maddie was talking about, it's just a culture here of just do your very best and contribute to the team, and that's one thing I really, really appreciate with Jerry's coaching is that this feels like a team sport. And I think track a lot of the time feels so individual, but it feels good to perform for the team and be there for the team and have, contribute to team points and things like that. So, yeah.
That's cool.
I was going to say, is it a little more special for you and Maddie, maybe the other Oregonians, that home state repping?
It feels good, yeah. I have high school friends and things like, doing shout outs and things like that. It feels great to be able to represent Oregon and wear the Oregon across my chest. So it does feel good, to represent.
Being at the Olympic year, I mean, obviously with that throw, does it make it more exciting for the summer to come? Do you wait for the trials now?
Yes, I'm very excited. That's my end goal. So once I get there, I hope I compete very well, and just kind of working for that. So I'm very excited. And with that making the Olympic standard, that was just another thing that I got really happy about. So, yeah.
Presumably your experience, your maturity, you've learned how to kind of balance maybe short-term gains you want to make with bigger picture goals like that. How has that evolved, and kind of how do you feel like you balance kind of short-term improvements you want to make, for the sake of long-term development, growth goals like that?
Right. The big thing is just celebrating the victories, but also making sure that I remember that I'm still working towards more. So I had a great weekend, and then I came home, and on Monday I came back, lifted, did the drills again, and we just start over. So you just keep working. So you celebrate, but you also you keep going. It's kind of where I'm at.
What a heck of a weekend it was for those two Oregonians. Maddie Elmore went to South Eugene High School. Jada Ross went to North Medford High School, both of them in-state, and putting up numbers at the Razorback Invitational last week. We've got to take a timeout, but when we come back, we are less than a week away from first pitch of softball season. Yeah, Missy Lombardi, she talked with the media yesterday. We're going to get to that when we come back on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union here in the Country Financial Studio. I'm Ryan Milano, bringing you the whole way through today's show. Oregon men's basketball got the win over USC last night, but it's not just basketball season anymore. No, we are ramping up, and softball season is less than a week away. Coach Melissa Lombardi, along with a whole bunch of student athletes that we'll get to either today or throughout next week, also talked with the media yesterday. Let's hear from Coach. Here is head coach Melissa Lombardi.
We heard about the concept of postseason mentality from you guys throughout last season, and it took you as far as it did. I wonder, for you, sounds like for some of the players at least, the definition of what the postseason mentality needs to look like has changed a little bit based on what they learned through last year. Has it changed for you at all? Do you want to see exactly that same theme this year, or have you tweaked that message a tiny bit based on the experience you got?
I think anytime you have experience, it's the most valuable thing that you can get, like, when you don't have it, you go in with theory on it, and then when you get the experience, it allows you to see if we need to shape it or do things a little different. Postseason mentality, it showed up at our first regional, and then we understood that it can't just show up at postseason. It has to show up in the summer before they come in and in the fall. And so I would say those would be some things, just understanding that postseason mentality is just the mentality that you have regardless of where we're, in the fall or in the spring or in postseason.
Do you think that was the biggest lesson you learned from this previous season, or were there other lessons as well that you feel like you're going to take into this 2024 year?
I think what we really learned from this past season is just there's power in numbers, and when everybody has the same belief and everybody wants more for the team than for themselves, like anything can happen. I think they found their identity last year. They understood how to be in adverse situations, but play really, really loose. And I think in the past years, each year it's like we're learning a valuable lesson for that's going to help us through that season, but then go into the next. And I feel like we've learned so much and we've had so much experience that we have a lot of things answered going into the season and understanding what we need to do. So now it's just all about implementing it right away.
Well, Paige and Stevie talked about how they in the past have been a little too focused on stats, things like that. They want to get away from that. They think it'll help them. Sounds like something that's easier said than done, but is that part of kind of the mindset you're talking about that you want to see kind of top to bottom throughout the team?
For sure, and that's just where you think of postseason, you come up, there's a runner at third, you get fisted and you bloop a ball in and the run scores, and in postseason they go crazy, right? In the beginning, sometimes earlier in the season, you're mad. You don't care that the run scored, you're just mad that you got fisted. That's where, I think about, we're too worried about statistics or getting caught up in themselves. So I think it's more about, ultimately, what do we need to do to win the ball game?
As a coach, it seems on paper that you've got more pieces to play with now. You've got a pitching staff that's very full. You've got speed. You've got left-handed, right-handed batters. I mean, you've got basically everything you would want. How excited are you kind of going into the season to be able to utilize those?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think we're very deep. We're very experienced. We have 9 seniors and super seniors, and there's something about having a team with that many seniors that is should be very, very uncomfortable for an opponent. They're all on the same page. Their leadership up to this point has been phenomenal, and I wouldn't expect anything less going into the season as well. They're so committed to each other and to this program, and knowing that we were 2 games away from going to the World Series last year, and that we're not going to be 2 games away from going to the World Series this year.
How much have you talked about that specifically or not? I mean, have you tried to use that as a carrot every day? or have you tried to
Going to the World Series?
Yeah, just the frustration of being so close last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't even have to say anything. They feel it. They came in. This group is very much. We're thankful for the experience, but when you get to that point and you have an opportunity, you got to make it happen, right? And that's what we think about is now having the knowledge. It was our first, and having the knowledge to use it for this year.
Was there any one thing you saw in fall ball that you really liked that you want to see that first week of games?
I would just say that just from the start, our seniors have been really tremendous in their leadership on the field, off the field. Half our team is old and half our team is young. And so there's a little bit of a gap there. And I think our seniors have done a great job of bridging that gap with the young ones. They're forcing our young athletes to play at a high level, regardless whether they like to or not. And that's going to go a long way for us. I think the competitive spirit this team has, they show up every day for practice, ready to compete, where there's been, it's hard to show up every single day. Even for us as coaches at times, it can be hard, but you have to have the mindset to do that. And this group has that mindset. I don't think they take days for granted. And that, I think, is something that I feel from them more now than maybe I have in the past.
There's some things you can only learn once you do take the field against another team. So what are some maybe questions that you still have about this group that can only be answered next week and beyond?
What I think about with this group, I think about by the time we get to the end, are we where we need to be? I think we are. What I want to see is, can this group start fast? That's what I want to see. Can this group start fast? That's probably my biggest message. They're prepared. We have depth in pitching. We have depth off the bench. We've got plenty of lefties and right-handed hitters. We've got an unbelievable defense. How fast can we start?
Speaking of that, you guys are obviously going to be facing off against multiple playoff teams to begin your season. How important do you think that early stretch of softball is going to be to really showcase to you that they've got the message and that they believe in this belief that they can make it to that next step in the World Series?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think we've got to start strong, because you want to start strong and get off on the right foot. But what I think about is, in order for us to be ready to compete and just a deadly Pac-12 conference, then we've got to be able to handle teams right now in non-conference. To be able to get to postseason, we've got to be able to handle what's in front of us for the pack. So it's just, I don't think of us looking at the beginning to the end. It's just very much looking at it in chunks and just being caught up with what's in front of us and competing.
Paige talked a little bit about playing with a little more swagger. Do you want to see them have a little bit more belief in themselves than perhaps they've shown in the past about the caliber of team they are and can be?
Definitely. And I think just with the leadership and the older athletes, you get that. The older athletes, they've been here, they've done it. They know what they need to do. So if you have some younger ones that are not quite sure, I think the older ones are like, just take our lead. But I do. And that's why I think just with the fast start, I think the fast start is important.
What are your thoughts on Emma and her transition and what she can bring to the team?
Have a lot of really good thoughts on Emma. She's excellent at what she does. She's another one. We only get her for a year, but she's had urgency. We've all had urgency to get her to settle in and to be able to come in and be who she is. She's got a beautiful left-handed swing. She's clutch. She hits a lot of line drive. She hits really good pitching. She has good communication with our pitchers and with the defense. She's here to, do what it takes for the team. Like, how can she contribute to the team? So I think you all are going to really enjoy watching Emma play.
With players you lost last year, not that they were slow by any stretch. Tara, you've replaced them with literal speed, and this is potentially the fastest team I've ever seen, definitely in the conference.
Yeah.
How excited are you? Because I know you like to be aggressive anyway, and now you've got a lot more pieces.
Yeah, I think we've always been a team full of versatility and speed, but this year you see both of it even more, along with the experience of being there. So it's tough. I think of Tara and Allie, they've been with me since day one, so I just expect that they're supposed to be with me forever. But to see KK come in, who came in as a shortstop, she played first for us, but she's been doing a great job at second, and to see Emma and Val and Bracy and Trinity and Abby, all those guys come in and do what they need to do behind the plate. It's cool to see a different look. You get athletes that graduate, and then you're excited to see with athletes returning what they're going to do. And that's what I'm excited for this group. This senior group is a special group. I think you guys are going to really enjoy what you see this year on the field and how they go about things.
You still have one player left from your first signing class, Ariel. I'm sure we'll talk to you a lot about her during senior weekend, but just how excited are you to see her this season, and what has she meant? Just because she definitely, when all of that coaching change happened, she could have definitely left, but she chose to stay.
Yeah, Ariel, she's going to have a good year too. Really, really good year. Ariel, I cannot say enough about Ariel, the person. She's an unbelievable student athlete, but just who she is as a person, and being from Eugene, Oregon, and she's such a fan favorite, and she just takes a big swing at the plate and makes it look so effortless. And it's been really, really awesome to watch her come in as a freshman and then be here as a super senior, as a leader, and what she's done for this program, what she's done for me. I'm not ready for senior day yet with that one, with all of them, but she's gonna, that's gonna be a tough one too.
After talking with Stevie and Paige, it seems like a good word to describe how they want to come into the season is unshakable. They don't want anything to be able to shake them. What do you think that word means in postseason mentality?
Yeah, a conquering mindset. That's what I think about that. To me, we have a conquering mindset. And if I have a conquering mindset, I have an unwavering belief that gives me that mindset. That's what I feel from this team.
What's it been like to have an experienced staff go through the off season and move forward towards this season where you have everyone pretty much returning on or in the circle, and the goal is OKC? How important is it to have an experienced staff like that?
Yeah. Extremely. How the sport works, it's about your pitching. It is. Your pitching has such a big part of it. And, last year we had a really nice staff, but we were banged up. I mean, we don't say a whole lot during the season, but we were banged up last year. And to see everybody healthy this year and to see the depth we have and the different looks and the fact that they're all older, we have one freshman in Taylor Spencer, which I think is great. She doesn't have to come in as a freshman and try to take on this major load. Come in and do your part and then pass the ball. And so I think this pitching staff's going to do some big things this year.
Kind of segueing off of the staff, but you've also, you guys were able to add another coach, and you got two experienced, former players on. How nice is it to actually have a more rotund or a bigger staff that's able to support you?
Coach Liss, she was our volunteer coach the past 2 years, and then when it passed to allow us to have another paid coach, it was a no-brainer for her to be our paid coach. What she's done, the experience that she brings from playing in the PAC, playing as a pro, and just, she just got done doing it. So she's just so relatable to our athletes. And then I think with Coach Sid Romero, these guys love her. I got to coach her at Oklahoma, so her and I have known each other for a long time. She's been there, she's done that. She's won national championships. She's played, nationally. She's playing professionally. So she gets to come to practice as well, and we're working on a certain defensive situation, and she grabs her glove and she jumps right in it, and she's able to demonstrate. So I think of the staff that I have, and I call them my specialists, because I think each one of them are so good at what they do. Coach Martyr and what she does with our offense, the records that she still holds at Ohio State, they were able to do it and then coach it.
That's Coach Lombardi previewing the season for Oregon softball. That's less than a week away in Clearwater, Florida. When we come back, we're talking to the shortstop on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Just heard from the coach of the Oregon softball team before their trip to Clearwater, Florida for their season opener. Now we get to hear from the shortstop Paige Sinicki, now leading the infield as she comes into her third season. Here is the shortstop Paige Sinicki.
How much of a veteran presence do you feel like at this point? Just what has your experience taught you, and how has that changed kind of the presence you can be in the locker room, on the field, all that?
Yeah, I mean, surrounding myself with a lot of the older girls recently, all the seniors, there's 9 of them. I feel like we all know that we have a big leadership role. So I'll be talking with them almost every week, just trying to figure out what puts us in the best position weekly at practice so that we can go into season in our best shape. I think I learned a lot from Allie Bunker, just being up middle with her. And she really gave me the skills and tips to come into junior year to present the veteran aspect that I have now.
So the conversations you guys are having right now, how different are they or not than this time a year ago, given kind of the step you took last season and the step you want to take this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we came in with a lot of freshmen this year, so there's a lot of younger girls that we're still trying to have this path for them, make sure that they're like ready for season and know what to expect. I think having 6 of them, it can bring a lot of different like ideas at practice and still trying to teach them and make sure that they're ready. So I think this year it's just having good conversations about what we're trying to get accomplished at practice. We're really big into quality over quantity right now. How tentful we are with our reps and what we're talking and communicating like on the field, because at the end of the day, if we're not communicating in the right way, then we're not going to have that aspect in our field of play.
OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point.
I mean, that's just
federally insured by NCUA.
How do you see your role now, and especially with all the
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider. Thanks for dealing with us through some technical difficulties. We are still talking with the shortstop for Oregon softball, Paige Sinicki. So thanks for bearing with us, and we'll get right back to the talk with the shortstop she had with the media last week. So here is Paige Sinicki.
Near the end of the season, and we're trying to figure out how we can find that early in the season so that we can propel with it later on.
You guys had a great tandem with Tara last year, throwing out runners. What's that been like, kind of developing that with Emma this fall?
Oh man, I'm excited for Emma. She I've gotten to really get to know her, and I'm really excited to see what she does because she reminds me a lot of Tara. She has a strong arm, great bat, and we just have a good connection. Even with Val, I've been at second base this whole time, and she's been just done runners out too. So I think you'll see a lot of thrown outs this year, a lot of double plays with me and KK still up the middle. Like everything will be pretty much the same, and I'm excited to see that for him.
With Tara still a part of the program, just has that made that transition for Emma easier, do you think? Yeah.
I mean, Tara's behind the plate during all of our scrimmages, during practice. I can hear her just talking to all the younger ones and Emma. And I think it's hard when you come in as a newcomer, whether you're a senior or a freshman, to just understand what the culture is like and comfortability with everybody. So I think Tara really just took Emma under her wing, and also Val, so that she can feel as most comfortable as she can for season.
Last year you had, I would call it the toughest luck. I mean, you were bad on ball all the time. The average didn't necessarily reflect that. How excited are you to kind of clean slate, start fresh, and show, all the work that you put in last offseason and this offseason, kind of have it materialize?
Yeah, I'm excited to show all the work I've been putting in. I think something that's been huge for me has been my walk in faith. I was so result based, and softball was who I was as a person and not what I do. So I've really been focusing on just trusting in God and what path He has for me, and I think that's what I'm most excited for, because I can feel when I'm mentally resetting and mentally ready for this season, and not let little things like the ball getting caught in right field, even though it was a shot, deteriorate me, because at the end of the day, there's a lot bigger things in the world than softball. So I have that good mindset in me right now, which I'm excited to use. It's kind of like a calmness, and that might be something you see a little bit different with me this year. I'll still always have that Energizer bunny, but there'll be a little bit more calmness in me.
What's it been like working with KK up the middle, and how's she done shifting over to second base?
Yeah, me and KK played travel ball together, so I've been playing with her for 7 years. So her up middle and me up middle with her has been pretty easy. We have a good relationship. I think that, like I said, you'll see a lot of double plays. She's super athletic, has a strong arm. I'm excited to see some first and third plays where she'll be coming across and throwing some runners at home. So I think you'll see a lot of what you saw with Bunk up the middle last year.
Did you play second when you guys were in travel ball together?
Yeah, actually, I'd play third sometimes. She'd play short. We'd switch it up, but I'd play second. So we've done it all together. So it's pretty comfortable with us.
That is the shortstop, Paige Sinicki, and I really like the way that conversation went at the end. Two Corona Angels in their travel ball days who are now playing up the middle together. Paige Sinicki and KK Humphreys, with Coach Lombardi saying that Humphreys going to play more second base this year with the departure of Ali Bunker. Well, you got Humphreys at second, you got Sinicki at short, and that's a tandem that's been doing it together for a long time. They will be doing it again for version 6 of the Melissa Lombardi era, starting on February 8th. That is Thursday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. It's going to be later on the East Coast in Florida, but it will be against Indiana. And Knight Uretsky, who interned here, will be with the softball team on the road for KWVA, and he'll have the call all season long for Oregon softball. So softball season starting in less than a week. In exactly a week, Oregon lacrosse season is going to start up. Jess Drummond coming in, a former Duck. We talked with her yesterday. Now we're talking with one of her players, Sydney Soto. She talked to the media a few days ago. Here is the lacrosse star.
Just your take on kind of the energy right now as the opener approaches, and kind of how ready are you guys to take the field against someone besides yourselves at this point?
Our energy is crazy, honestly, right now. We are so excited for this new season, new coaches, new team, new everything. It's just everyone can't wait for that day to come.
What do you ask you the same thing I asked Coach? I mean, when fans come out to watch you guys, what do you want them to take away? What do you want them to be their big takeaways about your style of play, all that?
Well, as a team, we've come up with 3 team-winning values, which are alpha, pride, and discipline, and I think that they will see that through us in our play. And when we talk about alpha, we just want to be the best on the field, and we want that to show. We want people to see that we are the better team, and we truly believe that, and we are disciplined whether it's calls on the field or just sticking to plays. So definitely just taking that away.
were some things that you worked on in the off season to get ready for this year?
For me, it was a lot. I play defense, so a lot of footwork and just continuing to better myself as an individual. There's a lot of 1v1 defense in the game of lacrosse. So when you're by yourself, you can't do a lot of the team things. So definitely a lot of that, and just in the weight room, conditioning, and trying to make myself as good as I can so that I can help my teammates and be the best for my team.
Given some of the veterans you guys have had back, do you think that's made the transition to a new coach a little easier than it might have been otherwise?
For sure. All the years that I've been here, I've really had to lean on my teammates, and we've all really used each other to bring ourselves up and continue to push through difficult seasons and tough times. So having those teammates here with me now, a lot of the same ones since I was a freshman, has been so nice. And I think we've all seen such a change over the years that now that we're like taking the field the last time as seniors, like we have a huge senior class this year, we're all just ready to leave it all out there.
With the training from Coach Drummond and Carrera, what aspects have you seen the team improve since last year?
Honestly, everything. But I think our biggest thing is just like grit, and on the my end of the field and the offensive end of the field, we all trust each other so much more. We're all sticking to the systems. We all feel so much confidence in ourselves now with the new coaching staff. They really do lift us up every single day, which has just been incredible. And I think that we just go out every single day willing to do our best, and we're not scared to mess up. We want to just continue to fail so that we can get better.
That is Sydney Soto, the Oregon lacrosse player, talking to the media a few days ago. Thanks for dealing with us for the technical difficulties through the Paige Sinicki interview. If you want to see that in full, it is on the Go Ducks YouTube channel. Again, the schedule for this weekend, because there is a lot going on. Women's tennis currently in action against Eastern Washington at the Student Tennis Center. They're up 2-0 against Eastern Washington as we speak. Men's tennis going to be in action right after at 4 p.m. against Northwestern. Also on Sunday at 11 a.m. against Wisconsin. Men's tennis is in action. Women's tennis on Sunday against St. Mary's. Also for men's basketball, they will play tomorrow against UCLA at 7 o'clock. Joey will have the pregame show at 6:30. That game is going to be on ESPN2. So Joey at 6:30 on the Oregon Sports Network, on TV on ESPN2. Women's golf, they start their season on Sunday, and then it's women's basketball at Matthew Knight Arena against the 18th ranked Beavers on Sunday. A big game for the Ducks against the in-state rival Beavers. Be at Matthew Knight Arena. That is a full-packed weekend, and we'll have it all breaking down for you on Monday. See you then. Go Ducks.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out.